So hot weather still persists in Vegas. Burning alive, July hell.
Boob sweat,
Boob sweat,
sweating.
sweating, swamp ass, all those.
Oof.
Oh, it's like that here too. I do have a very fun wilted violet for myself that kind of goes along with the hot weather and just what I was doing. It's a fresh wilted violet too. It's not
Oh,
something
it
that
just
happened to me like over the past 5 days. It's like something that happened to me in the past hour.
oh great. I think let's start by explaining what a wilted violet shiny pearl are.
Absolutely.
Um it's similar to I used to do this with my family at dinner time. My mom would be like, "Good day, bad day." And you would say
Mm,
like something good in your day and something bad in your day. And so like that's kind of what I think of as a wilted violet shiny pearl, something good and
yeah.
something bad. Um that was something that Autumn and I learned in our sorority to do. We
Hmm.
would have chapter meetings. And if there was some time in between, they would say, like, does anyone have any shiny pearls or wilted violets? And it would be, shiny pearl to Autumn for staying up with me for 5 hours to help me study for that chem test. Between Autumn and I, there were more wilted violets against some of our shenanigans than
Yes.
shiny pearls. And a wilted violet isn't something like completely negative either. It'll just be kind of like poking fun at someone for something like
Correct.
a wilted violet to Hailey for getting me a Dwayne The Rock Johnson poster and then letting my dog see it and get scared and then pee all over the house like that.
Correct. Yeah. It was taller than me. I'm 6 feet tall, and it was taller than me. I had to put it up in the washroom, and it was actually funny too because we had like that little window that showed out of the front of the house. The
The
rock
Rock
was
was always
the rock
watching.
had our house on lock. We were not scared of anyone breaking in. In these episodes and as we move forward is we'll just kind of take a minute to debrief on our day and then dive right into the wilted violets and the shiny pearls, and then we will end with pressed petals, which pressed petals is one thing we're carrying with us from the previous week into the current week, and deadheading, which is one thing that we're releasing before we go into the next week, and then we will go into the game. But yeah, that's a little bit of what the style and layout of this is going to look like. We're super excited. But Hailey, me or you? You or me?
I can go. I can
Okay.
go.
Okay.
So you've set it up and so I'm just like, we'll we'll keep it going. Okay, so my shiny pearl is actually behind me. My beautiful my beautiful wall of pictures
And it
is
looks
my
so
shiny
good.
pearl for the week. Thank you. I will admit this took me probably like 3 or 4 hours. It was like a whole deal to do.
When did you buy the frames or did you have them? Did you thrift them? What was your
All of the
strategy?
above. All
I
the above. I
love.
knew I knew I wanted like a gold framed different collage of photos. I
Hmm.
had a couple already framed, and then I had some other ones that I just added some photos to. Like I thrifted a couple of the frames. I have this shelf that I actually this was hanging up in my dorm. This was hanging up at our house at
Okay, that looked so familiar. I didn't know if that is just like falls into your suite of style. Like those are the things that you like, that like accent. But I was like, that does look really familiar. It looks very nice.
No, I literally have held on to it because I think it's so cute and I love
Yeah.
it. But all these frames are from different places. I thrifted a couple. I had some already. This little cowboy boot, I love that I'm like pointing at it like a meteorologist. This cowboy boot here, I painted myself. It's like a ceramic vase that I hand
Oh,
painted myself. And I was like, I need to display this because it's super cute. There's a lot of cute pictures of like the theme was coastal cowgirl. So like I hope that's what it's giving. And I have a lot of room, like my dog's bed is right here. So I was
hmm,
like, maybe I could keep adding to this kind of
that would
situation.
actually be so
So
cute. I feel like that's like very trendy right now, is like a frame wall.
playing.
I love the coastal cowgirl. I feel like that fits you really well, but it's like that photo wall is very Ralph Lauren. Very
Oh, Thank
Yeah.
you. The biggest struggle with this was picking out the pictures because I have a couple that are just like a horse wearing a cowboy hat on the beach or like some other photos that aren't mine. So it was
Hmm.
hard for me to find pictures of me and like my friends or family that were like coastal cowgirl or something like that because I
Mm.
wanted it to kind of go in with the theme. So now in my head, I'll be thinking like, okay, what events will I be going to, or like what outfits can I wear to force my
Yeah.
friends to do to like get more photos in the coastal cowgirl. Like I just went to the beach so I could take a photo of like and put it there from when I
Yeah.
went, something like that.
I
So
love
that
that.
is my shiny pearl. It took a lot of time, way more time than I thought it would, but I did the whole thing myself. I got the hammer, the nails, the level. I was just banging the wall. I hit a couple studs though, but I
Oh.
just kept going. I just kept
And guess
going.
what? Those pictures and those frames aren't going anywhere.
They
The
ain't
ones you
going
hit this, they ain't going
nowhere.
nowhere. The one
I
you hit the
pray
sad one.
whoever moves into this house next, and unless we fix it, unless I get your dad to come out here and fix it for me,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a bunch of holes all over this wall. So,
And period.
but whatever.
That's
So
their
that's my
problem.
shiny pearl. It's super cute. I'm really happy with how it came out. My wilted violet is the luteal phase. Point blank,
Mm.
period. That's it. That's the whole phase. And this is even a whole topic we could go into of just like your period cycle, the hormones, because I literally, this is kind of sad that I didn't realize this until like 5, 6 years ago. Women have like, so men have a 24-hour hormone cycle. The hormones
I
are the
didn't know
same
that.
every day when they wake up. They have 24-hour.
They
We
reset
have
their
like
battery? Damn.
we have like 28 days. Like a
Yeah.
28-day cycle. Like that's why I like the cycle. So you like have the follicular phase, the ovulation phase, the luteal phase, and then like the menstrual
Yeah.
this full cycle. And the luteal phase, for those of you who don't know, is the worst. It's the worst week of my life. It's more than a
Yeah.
week, actually. It's like the longest phase too. It's
Mm-hmm.
right before you get your period. And for me, I just like I can't do anything. I feel like there's a switch in me that I all of a sudden like question everything I do, and I'm just like way harder on myself in my head. Like there's a ton of science to explain why that happens in the luteal
Yeah.
phase.
I remember I think I started birth control when I was in high school and it was for acne. And when I got to college, I started like experimenting with different kinds of birth control. So like I started with the pill and then I went to the shot and then I went back to the pill and then I did the next one on which was the implant in your arm, which I still have a
Mhm.
scar. That was a very traumatic experience. I know it works really well for some, but the next Planon bar literally wrecked my whole world. But it's like so crazy because I think that the like education around like your phases, like I was so tuned out. Like I was like, I'm here for
Mhm.
birth control. Give it
Yeah.
to me. I'm getting out of here. Like, and I remember I went to the gynecologist. I went like probably 4 or 5 months ago, and that was like the first time I was talking to my doctor about like me and my husband trying to have children. And she was like explaining to me all the phases, and I was like, I feel like I'm 13 years old learning this for the first time. I was like embarrassed.
The doctor would say, "Are you thinking about being sexually active?" Yes, here's birth control. It wasn't like obviously they probably had to explain like this is your option birth control,
Yeah.
but I just don't understand how we didn't
Hmm.
have health the class to talk about it, or like men weren't educated on it. So I kind of love the whole movement where women are talking about their luteal phase or whatever phase they're in.
We're feeling more comfortable to talk about our cycles, and now like our partners are also interested in this information.
If I ever have a daughter, she will know what phase she's in. The
Yeah.
minute she gets that first period, I'm like, now I gotta tell you all these phases. So if you feel like shit in your luteal phase, mom does too, literally every single time, like it's okay.
Well, I think one thing too with like birth control that is really interesting, like you were saying, like you went to your doctor when you were however old. And I think that when you're 12, 13, 11, 12, 13, whenever you start your birth control. I think 11, 12, or 13 for birth control is a little young. But if you're like someone who has like cystic acne or has like strong like symptoms that really warrant that birth control, I think you start to develop like a fear that if you come off all of these things that were these ailments that this medicine was fighting, we're going to just come back in full force. And I think that's why you just take it as fact that this is now a part of my life.
Especially if you're young, like,
Yeah.
and there's nothing else that you can try before you're taking a very serious like hormone replacement is what it is. It's like the doctors just want to give you a pill and like push you out the door. So yeah.
Yeah. Luteal
Anything
phase.
involving the luteal phase, just get me a chocolate bar now and like just let me be on my merry way.
I just came off my time of the month and I like was sitting at my desk. It was the day I called or texted you and I was like still at my desk at like 7:30 at night. My husband came downstairs, the king, and he was like, we're going, get in the car. And he drove me to the Parker's kitchen to get milk duds. And when your man loves you, you know, when your man loves you, it's the little things he shows it. So,
and you love a milk dud.
I love a milk dud. I love a milk dud.
Have you tried them in the freezer? Have we talked about this?
I haven't. I'm like, I do love candy in the freezer. My husband got cookie dough bites, the chocolate covered cookie dough bites, and he put those in the freezer.
Good.
And that was really good. I'm like scared because milk duds are already a lot on the like your jaw. You're kind of like like trying to eat the milk duds, which I'm very okay with that sensation. But I feel like in the freezer, like I'm scared of
you're gonna break a tooth,
crack a tooth on a frozen milk dud. But yeah, frozen candy underrated. Oh, frozen cake too. So many leftover buntinis from our wedding. We had like buntinis in the freezer.
You just freeze them?
Yeah, we had buntinis from Nothing Bun Cakes for like 3 months after the wedding. Yeah.
Are you giving me the shiny pearl first? And
yeah,
then,
I'm gonna do the shiny pearl first.
I'm so invested.
Okay, so my shiny pearl is I have for the past month had a bunch of stuff in my backseat. I don't drive very much anymore because I work from home. You can see my home office set up here. But it's honestly been bothering me because not only was it like a TJ Maxx return, it was an Amazon return, which is like whatever, but I had 2 bags of clothes that I wanted to donate. And every time I would get in my car, I would feel like so guilty, like there's probably someone that would really benefit from having these, but I'll stick them in those, you know, like in like grocery store parking lots or large box store parking lots, the big, I also think about that too because I'm a bigger girl. I've just come to know that's my lot in life is just being a big old woman. She's a big old woman, you know?
There's a lot to love.
But that's like, when I donate clothes, I think about that. I'm like, there's probably someone that's my size that like can't afford or needs these things. I like to clear my closet out. Like that's my shiny pearl is clean your closet out and donate it. Like I think that it is worth selling things. Even selling stuff, you're still fighting fast fashion. Like that's been a big thing for me lately is like not subscribing to fast fashion. Like I really like to go to Plato's Closet. I like to go, me and my husband, he really likes to go to Goodwill. So we'll go there and vintage and just trying to upcycle stuff. Don't get me wrong. I did go to Altered State and buy a dress this weekend. So I'm not completely erasing myself from the fast fashion epidemic. But yeah, I just like.
I think you get it for a good price. You get all the stuff that you go to these secondhand stores, like the vintage stores, and they've got good stuff. It's like way better to do that.
I found some really good stuff at Plato's Closet in West Ashley, which is like a suburb of Charleston. I tried it on. First of all, I was in the changing room for like 10 minutes trying to figure out how this dress was supposed to look, and then the girl at the front was like, after I purchased the dress, because I finally had like decided, okay, I guess this is how it goes, and that's not how it went. I'm a motor mouth, so when I go to do anything, I have to conversate with people like copious amounts. Like it's kind of like one of my husband's pet peeves. He's like, "Can you just do something and not run your mouth?" And I'm like, "No, I'm sorry." But she was like, you could just look up the tag. Look at the tag. It should say what the name of the dress is. So this was like a really pretty butter yellow dress, but it was one of those where a piece of cloth covering a tit and then it's like gaped open, but it was skin tight. And I thought it was like you wore it like this and it tied here, but it was just not meant to be.
You couldn't figure it out. And that's where
No.
I'm like, okay, I draw the line. If I
Yeah.
can't figure out how to put the dress on, I'm not meant to have this dress.
But I was fighting for it. I was fighting for this dress because it was butter yellow. And I was like, we were going to a wedding in Nashville. It was one of my husband's friends' weddings. So that's my shiny pearl. My wilted violet. So I've been getting spray tans. I started going to this place.
Oh no, is it another spray tan mishap?
Yeah.
God.
This is like, so when we were in college, I would go to Suntan City in Knoxville. I used to work at Suntan City as a brand ambassador, and I was so used to those booth tans, like the Norvell or the Versa, and you just locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah.
Go to this place in Somerville now called Bratz Tanning, and it's a homegrown salon. Very wonderful women, and it's really nice. But it's been like trial and error this first month because it is hand sprayed. It's not the machine, and it's not what I'm used to. This hand spray, she gets really close. Like she's like in it, I'm kind of moving around. I went to use the bathroom 2 weeks ago, and I sat on the toilet, and when I got up, there was like a butt imprint of like pink and purple.
When did you go? Like, you went to the bathroom?
This is like right after. So I do rapids. So the like spray comes out darker than like the longer term ones because it's like trying to help that person spraying see where they went. I would say within 2 hours, like trying to go to the bathroom, every single time I would go to the bathroom, I would leave like a mark. And my upstairs toilet seat is stained. Like I can't get it off. The next few days, like that happened. And I just tried to make a claim that this only happens right after. But then like 2 days later, I sat down on the toilet downstairs and I stained that toilet seat too. And this is like after I've washed it off.
No spray tan.
And so that's like fine and that's all well and good. But tonight I went to dinner.
Oh, did you go to the bathroom there?
No.
Were you testing the
This
theory?
is even worse. No, this is even worse. I sat down at this booth and like I'm wearing shorts and I'm wearing like a short sleeve because it's hot. It's hot in South Carolina right now.
I
no!
wish
Oh my God! I should have taken a photo.
You should have taken a photo of the booth.
I went to get up from the booth, and I didn't move the whole time because, like, I could feel myself. Like in general, like I stick to booths in the South, and especially wearing shorts. Yeah. I get up, and I look back because I'm like, I don't know why I looked back. I'm like self-conscious about it now, so I looked back, and like I had an ass stain on their booth seat. Oh, I looked at my husband and I was just like, oh my God, what? And he was like, we have to leave. I was just like,
I'm saying we have to go.
I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I think I'm going to start wearing sweatpants.
Booth.
No, and this is
like you got up and it was like a brown, like what was the coloring of this?
It was a dark colored cushion. So, and it was leather. But that's even worse. Like, I would say, like, I mean, maybe it's not even worse because if it was like a tan and it stained like that, I'd probably go to the kitchen and be like, can I please have some Windex?
Leather cleaner? You guys got any leather cleaner?
You guys have anything that I can do to get this ass stain? This ass stain that I left on your booth? Oh my God. So yeah, that's my wilted violet for myself. Like that's going to be something I post on social media this week is like, how are we?
Have you ever stained a booth?
Have you ever post spray tan stained a toilet seat or a booth at the restaurant you were eating at? Yikes.
And here's the better question. Here's the better question. I already know the answer to this, but I'm just asking. Have these experiences changed whether or not you will continue to get spray tans?
No. Of course I'm going to keep getting spray tans.
You're just gonna have to be more careful if they say booth. You're gonna be like, maybe get a chair or like
I'm
a nap.
I'm just moving forward wearing pants, regardless of the
Ooh,
weather, like
smart.
like a pair of oversized black sweatpants, regardless of the weather. Me and my husband were thinking about like making this a Wednesday thing because they do like 20 wings for like $16 or something on Wednesday.
Oh, so they're gonna be like, oh, she's
and
back.
now and so now I'm gonna be the ass girl when I go in this place.
Oh, please request the same booth the next week you go. I'm curious to see if they get it out.
I really hope they do. Honestly, like usually
Please.
restaurants, they like take cleaning supplies and like wipe down seats
Yeah.
and table. I was kind of mortified that happened, but also I was like, is the tan gone from the back of my legs? Is the back of my legs look okay? I was more worried about that.
That's the thought I had when you said it went on the toilet seat. I was like, so did you lose all that tan on the seat?
It's like a transfer paper. Now, A, that happened at the restaurant, and B, I'm only using one toilet in my house. There's 3 toilets in my house, and I'm only going to use one from now on.
You're dedicated to one.
Okay. All right. Well, those were our shiny pearls and wilted violets. We are talking growing pains. So, one thing that I have, this is honestly something that sits with me pretty often. And it's more so like, I wonder why someone decided to do this. I wonder why someone made that decision. I wonder how someone came to be the way they are. We're talking adult skills that no one's being taught. Mm-hmm. There's just some things that I feel like I don't understand why. Like, this is something that needs to be understood to be functional as an adult, and it's just like something that none of us were given any like K through 12 knowledge on. There was no class, there was no teacher. I know based on some of like the research I've done, I think a big thing for a lot of people is like, oh, well, there was the financial literacy class, and I'm like, you were literally most times taking that financial literacy class, you're a senior. You don't give up what's happening at school anymore.
You're like, whatever, I'm going to make $1 million and
I don't need to know how to balance a check. I remember because I took a financial literacy class and it was like you like got a certain amount of money and then you were paying rent and then you were writing checks and all this stuff. Like nobody cared in that class. It's like, I think it's too late. That's honestly, if you're going to do something like that and like teach like things that are imperative for adult function, you have to teach that to a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old because that's when you can scare people straight because they're still young enough where they're like, okay, everything I learn right now is for the future. That's kind of what we're talking about today, and those are just some initial thoughts I have on the topic. But yeah, so Hailey, I don't know where you want to go first, what you want to talk about first. I have a big one. I can start with it if you want me to.
Yeah, sure, go for it. I started with the wilted violets.
Okay, perfect. Social etiquette. And I'm not talking like pinkies up, drinking tea, going to a nice steakhouse, knowing how to order, knowing how to interact in like that situation. I'm talking like people not knowing how to socialize, like rudeness, not knowing entitlement. I actually have, before I dive in, I have some fun stats on post-COVID behavior. So 47% of Americans say people have become ruder since the COVID-19 pandemic, according to a 2025 Pew Research Center survey. About 1/3 of Americans say they frequently witness rude behavior in public, while only 9% think people have become more polite. So we're dealing with the after effects of COVID. We have direct impacts from COVID when we graduated from the University of Tennessee. Like, we didn't get to graduate. We didn't get to finish our senior year. And I don't know how you feel about it, Hailey. I feel like fortunate. Like maybe I was a part of the last cutoff of like, there was no AI when I was in school, when we were in school.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of like still that physical in-person learning that was taking place. There was no my little brother just graduated from Tennessee. Pretty much all of his college experience was online classes, especially the first 2 years. Even after all of this stuff like kind of subsided, the like, you know, the protocols and all that kind of good stuff when it came to COVID, they were still teaching, you know, online. This is like real, like just being a decent human being. So like some examples of forgotten social etiquette: introducing people instead of letting it be awkward. And this is so funny. People are addressing this on social media instead of like because it's like something I feel like a lot of people are affected by. Like I remember I saw a video the other day of corporate Natalie. She was doing another video with like a creator, and they were like on the street, and she was like, when your friend runs into someone they know, but they don't introduce you.
I saw this video.
And
I saw that video too, yeah.
I've become more assertive where if something like that happens to me, I'm literally like, hey, I'm Autumn.
You just introduce yourself.
I just introduce myself. I'm not waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Saying someone's name, I need that. I'm putting that on blast. Like hands, 10 toes down. Please say your name. Like introduce me with someone's name. I'm so good with faces, but I'm really, really bad with names. And it's like really bad because like of the industry that I professionally work in, like you'd think I'd be better with names, but I'm not. I also think it's really interesting. My husband, he's in sales. He's really good at that. He's like, hey, Tim, how you doing? Like there's a sense of relief you can give someone by calling them by their name or just addressing them by their name versus like it feels like half-assed to not like address someone by their name. Putting your phone down, which is like common in general. I think that's like a lot of things parents are dealing with their kids. You're sitting down at dinner, you just put your phone down. You're not on it. Or someone, even if you're just like having a brief conversation, like that video I was saying with corporeality, or you just like run into someone on the street or something, like don't look at your phone while you're talking to someone. You're having a brief interaction. Writing thank you notes, which honestly has been that I think is a lost art. I don't personally do that myself as well as I should. With the wedding, it took me and my husband probably like a year to actually get all the thank you cards done, and I made my husband do like on his behalf to his guests. But that's like also something that's kind of like a lost art, and I think that feels so much more intentional. I think writing someone a thank you note can also like really, you know, help to nurture a connection with another person. Admitting you don't know something, like
that's also a lost art. That's also a lost art. Everyone wants to act like they know everything.
I think that AI, you know, the internet being so readily available, like people are like not willing to learn. Like I remember when I was a kid, I was at like the grocery store with my mom, and there was an older gentleman. You as a child are like put in a situation where you have to talk to this older person. But like a big thing with my parents was like they are the ones who have the wealth of knowledge, of experience. They are someone who has experience and can add value to your life. So you want to listen to them, like learn something. Like you just, even if you feel like you might somewhat know something about the topic that's happening, like let someone feel good. Like on top of like just being more socially and emotionally intelligent, you're allowing someone to like boost their confidence because you're helping them by letting them share something with you. Sending follow-up texts. If you cannot brave the thank you note, send a follow-up text. Why not? Being punctual, which I'm really bad at. I'm not gonna lie.
That's also that's very hard. That's very hard, but it is intentional, right? Like you are intentional with your time. So if you can't show up to something on time, it shows that wasn't something that you put all of your intention into.
My poor friend Cheryl, I love her. She's one of my closest friends in Charleston, and I swear on everything good and holy, I'm late to every single dinner we have. I was literally late last night, and it's so bad because it's almost like this level of intent you have behind being punctual is you're connection with somebody. Like I feel like I am later with Cheryl because she's like one of my best friends here, and then with
Yeah.
someone I don't know or like an interview or something, you tend to be more punctual. But it is a respect thing, and that's a very hot topic. Not gossiping, which also not very good at on my own behalf. I don't like negative gossiping, but I do like being someone who shares information about things that are going on. Cleaning up after yourself, and then the last one, returning shopping carts, which for shits and giggles, that
I have
is.
always done that. I have
Mhm.
always done that. I pride myself on being someone who always returns the shopping cart. But I was told a long time ago, it's like try to maximize the amount of steps you're getting in a day. So in my head, I thought like, okay, I park farther away from the grocery store, so I have to return the cart like
That sounds
farther
like
back. And to me,
a candy little
yeah,
factoid.
yeah. To me, I was like, it's definitely an almond mom thing. It's like
Yeah.
walk the cart back because then like you're getting the exercise there and back or something.
Mhm.
Like that's a good one.
Yeah, it's just like being socially competent is not like a personality trait. It's a skill, and it's something you can learn, and it's something you can hone.
I
I,
think
I
the social aspect of it that you were saying though, I think COVID did play a role in that because
yeah.
we spent so many years not socializing with people. And like Zoom calls are very different than like face-to-face interactions. It's like easier to pick up on social cues that I think a lot of people either lost track of or never learned. Because also, do you remember what happened in November when we visited our sorority house? So
Yes.
setting the scene, there was always music playing. This was like Saturday game day in Knoxville,
Yeah, it was
Tennessee.
Saturday morning before Tennessee game
Saturday
day.
morning, which is when like all of these girls would turn their speakers on and start blasting Rocky Top and knock individually on each person's door.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Meg for doing that. I remember that. And we would like get to a point in the semester where we're like, oh God, Rocky Top again. Like it was like, get up, get ready, let's go, it's game day. And it was a lot of girls like having fun, being together and whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
Autumn and I go to our sorority house because they let alumni back. We knock on the door. One girl opens the door. It's pitch black. It's literally so dark. Just the windows are open. No lights are on. One girl is in one of the rooms, like on FaceTime with her boyfriend or something. And we were like, we just want to go. We're alumni. We just wanted to like look around, whatever. And we
Yeah,
go
it was so
upstairs
bad.
and we say like, hi, we're alumni, blah, blah, blah. And the first question the girl asked us was, how did we get inside?
Oh,
It wasn't like, oh my gosh, hi, alumni, how are you? Whatever. Because this,
how did you get in our house? Who are you?
and it was like, it was awkward, but they weren't being rude. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
like you felt like they were like trying to be standoffish. It very much
It was
felt
blunt.
like it was blunt, but it very
Yeah.
much felt like they didn't know how to have a conversation with someone that wasn't someone they already know, which is just like blows our minds because we had people visit us when we were living there and we were like, oh my God, what are you up to? Like, it was just completely different. And I remember after leaving, Autumn and I were like, you know what? It's because these kids were in high school, like finishing their senior year when the pandemic hit. So they haven't been like interacting and socializing the way that we were. Like, I
Yeah.
really do think that COVID had a lot to do with it, but it was like such a bizarre experience. And I thought to myself, okay, now that school is back in session and everything is normal, like maybe like 2 or 3 grades. And like my mom is a teacher and she says that too. She's like, yeah, there's a couple grades that are now like going on to college and whatnot that were just like kind of a little antisocial because of the pandemic. So I think it's something we will get past because we're getting closer to like less time from when the pandemic happened that like normal life is happening
Yeah.
again. But it is very awkward in situations. You can almost kind of tell who doesn't really get out much when you see a bunch of people in like a setting where there's, you know, a lot of people. It's sort of like who's going to socialize with who. And
Yeah, and like
it's eye-opening for sure.
I just think it's like we owe it to ourselves as parents to like make sure that things do not disappear because these are not things happening in school. And it's like
Mhm.
you can see that it's trending on social media that these things, people are craving them. It feels like there's like a desire for like interaction. It's not like when we went into the house, it wasn't like these girls didn't want to talk. I just like don't think they knew really how to like
Yeah.
carry on a conversation and like really, add depth to it. I was like, so what's your degree? When do you graduate? And
Yeah.
they literally were like,
Yeah.
who do you know here? I was waiting for them to be like, can you name 5 sisters? And I was going to be like, oh my God, I remember that.
That's sort of the other thing too. I can have a conversation with a brick wall if you
Yeah.
really need me to, but I get to a point where I'm like, okay, like clearly you don't want to have this conversation. Like I can read signals. Like
Yeah.
I have social cues that I'm aware of. So like I caught that they didn't really want to speak. So I was sort of like, all right,
Correct.
we're just gonna like take a photo and be done. I just am like hoping that, you know, kids learn how to do it. But I have a couple of
Let's do it.
things that I think every adult should know.
I love.
A couple of them are more work related, but I think my biggest one that I want to touch on is how to be comfortable alone.
Mm,
This is something that I have heard over and over and over again from a lot of my girlfriends, a lot of people in general, because when you think about it, you graduate from college, you normally move somewhere, and it's like you're alone. You have to figure out everything on your own, navigate all sorts of different courses that you didn't even know were going to be around.
mm-hmm.
And I think like I used to tell my girlfriends this all the time. A lot of them would struggle being alone because you've never really had that experience. You go to college and you meet a bunch of friends and like you're stuck at the hip ever since. Like that's how a lot of people's stories are. But when you get a new job and you move somewhere where you don't know anybody, you can feel like really alone. And I always told my friends this. I said, there is a difference between being alone and being lonely. And I would try to remind them of that because sometimes it's okay. It's okay. And it's actually like, supported to be alone. Like being alone is where you learn so much about yourself if you can sit and be comfortable with being alone. So I think that was a really big one that and some people are born with it, right? Like some people like to be alone. Some people like their quiet time and their peace. They're more introverted. Um but I'd say a lot of the time, a lot of my extroverted friends who needed a plan like every single hour of every single weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they needed their weekend planned out, which is like
Mm-hmm.
the complete opposite for me. I have maybe, okay, I'm going to the gym Saturday. Okay, I'm going to wake up, get a coffee, and then do laundry. Like I never planned out my entire weekend day. So when I had a couple of friends that were like that, I sort of thought to myself, this is something that I feel like people should figure out how to do. It's easier said than done because you're going to have to be alone and experience being alone to understand how you can be comfortable with being alone. Because I think, too, if you're alone and you're happy with yourself, that just takes you to a whole nother level when you're around other people and you're able to like meet new people. So I think it was a lot of like a relationship setting where my friends were sort of saying like it's hard for me to be alone. Like I think I just really want to meet like a good guy so I can be around him all the time and blah blah blah. And I'm like, but there are going to be times where your man, if you get one, will not want to be around you and you'll have to be alone. Like, are you okay with being alone? And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I like fully stand 10 toes down on, like you said.
I I think that the question of can you be alone is something that I think there's a spiritual aspect to being alone. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think that in order to be alone, you have to feel like safe and the ability of like having a spiritual like direction and something that helps to add light in the loneliness, devotionals and just things that I've been able to like have, there's that sense that like you can be alone because you're never alone.
Mhm.
And I think that's
Mhm.
like something that a lot of people also deal with. Everything we talk about is going to connect back to like technology, but it's like this idea that you are consistently like, what is everybody else doing? Like you're not enabling yourself to actually ever really be alone. I did all my own stuff today. I went and got my nails done. I did all this stuff, but like in tandem with the activities you completed, you were also like stalking Instagram, like, and that made you feel lesser than or like empty. It's
Mhm.
not helping yourself.
Right.
The spiritual aspect to it, I think, is like really important. Your pressure, your sadness, your whatever you're holding on your shoulders and release it. And that makes being alone so much easier. You're not really taking that time to just be with yourself and rejuvenate yourself and recharge your batteries. You're like really being too introspective. You're not like releasing anything.
I think being alone, like once you figure out and you're comfortable with it, like gosh, I used to go see a movie by myself like all the time. I was dating myself
Yeah.
almost. Like I was taking myself out on dates and like being very present with myself to understand what it is that I felt like I was lacking in my life, what I needed, and I just like really gave it to myself. I feel like when you
Mm-hmm.
are alone and you're in your 20s and you're trying to figure out life, yeah, I just feel like being alone and knowing what your emotions are and like letting yourself feel all of those emotions is very important. But I think this is my second one, and it kind of goes into that. Building a life
Mm.
takes intention. Building a new life, it takes intention, right? You move to a new place, you're not all of a sudden going to have a million friends come to your door, knock, and
Correct.
say, "Hey, I saw
It
you
takes
moved in.
effort.
Let's be best friends forever."
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of intention that goes with wanting to create that life that you want to create for yourself. And it's not just sitting back and not doing anything like, oh, I can't really find any friends. Have you tried? Have you gone to that run club that you said you were going to? Have you said
Mm-hmm.
hello to one person in the run club? Have you had any interactions with anyone to become friends with someone? I remember when I was moving to Medford, the day that I was moving in, like I had the moving truck and everything, and I was putting all my boxes in my apartment. I saw this girl that kind of looked my age at her mailbox. And she came over to me and we started talking. And I was like, I'd really like to get your phone number if that's okay. I know like that was like the peak of the pandemic, but I was sort of like, I, I would like to have your phone number. I just moved here and now like she's one of my best friends. I wound up moving in with her and I lived with her in Medford for 2 years. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
having that one small interaction with someone, like vibing with someone at Pilates, like it like you have to go out and do the things you like in order to find people that are like you, which I think is like a huge thing to have intention when you are creating that life for yourself. But I know it's like, oh, whatever, I'll find friends. It's always easy to find friends, but you know, sometimes you might get a friend that you didn't realize wasn't what you were looking for if you don't sort of weed them out and experience the areas that you're wanting to develop in. That's where you
Yeah,
find.
I think that happens a lot too when people move to new places. I've personally moved with my husband for his job. I'm an extrovert. I was starving for connection. I was starving for a friend. But it's like you also have to have discernment when you're moving to new places and the people that you're meeting, to make sure that you're still holding like true to your morals and your values. But like Hailey was saying, it just takes effort. It's not easy. It takes intent. It takes you being purposeful in those connections you're making, like going, like she said, to environments that you really enjoy being in, whether it's like in the fitness and health space, it's in the creative space, going outside in nature, like just into areas where you may meet people that are similar to you. You move to a new city, you go into Facebook or Instagram or whatever group, and
Mhm.
you're like, hey, like I'm new to the city. I'd love to meet like And looking at it, like a majority of those, if any, are gonna happen because you're not trying. That's not
Yeah.
trying. That's
Yeah.
hiding
Immediately
behind.
going to social media and being like,
Yeah.
anyone want to meet up with me?
Oh,
The other day I was in Pilates and I'm I'm born and raised in Vegas. I've been gone for the last like 9 years, but I've come back and a lot of my friends that I grew up with are not here anymore. So I'm trying to make new friends again too. And it's like it can be awkward. It can be uncomfortable, but it's just like, hey, have you taken this Pilates class before? Like, yeah, she's really hard. I was like, we'll get through this together. By the way,
yeah.
I love your set. That's so cute. What's
Mm-hmm.
your name? Hear your name. You see her again the next week. Hey, how you do? Like it's so easy. It's so easy to make a
Yeah.
friend. If you have to be a friend to have a friend though. Like
Yeah.
that's something my mom taught. It's not transactional, right? It's like if you want a friend, you have to be a friend to somebody.
Yeah. I agree, girl. That's so good. It's so true.
I have two more, and these are kind of more like work related because when you're in your 20s and you're moving to a new place, I feel like this is more like right out of college, 22, 23 year olds. I
That
think like
that post education
I would say
yeah.
that I think that group of adults should know like how to regulate their emotions.
Mm.
Like how many of my girlfriends have, called me on the phone and told me like the latest guy they're dating, and in my head I'm like, this guy has not figured out his emotions yet. Like it's still an art in the 28, 29, 30-year-old space that people are learning, but I think this is something that the earlier you learn it, the easier it will be for your life. So like not really freaking out, like learn to regulate those emotions instead of reacting, or
Oh
learning
my
to stay
God.
calm. Learning to
Yeah.
stay calm during a conflict,
Oh
if it's like a
yeah.
work related
Oh my
conflict or like
gosh.
a relationship conflict, like that can really impact a lot of your relationships. So being able to figure out like, okay, she said something that like doesn't really sit right with my ego, but I'm going to check myself because I'm in a professional setting, and I'm going to make sure that I don't lash out, because I have literally sat at my desk at work and seen women fully grown yell at my boss or someone in like the management space that
No.
I'm like, this is
So
something that you
yeah.
need to figure out
Yeah.
earlier on because it will help you in literally all your life.
That
Literally all your
is
life.
that oh Haley, that is like so nail on the head, like something I've even experienced. So I had a first job out of college that was traumatizing. That first job out of college, my manager was absolutely heinous and so mean.
Mhm.
It was in the mortgage industry, so it was like very competitive and very like superficial. So it was a really hard job, and I think that actually helped me develop a backbone. I didn't have a backbone at the job. It gave me one for the future. It was an extreme learning curve because it was the stuff you'd see in the movies of like, go run and do this, go do this, you're in charge of this, make this happen or else. So I transitioned out of that role into a staffing agency, and that felt like going back to college. So then it was like culture shock going from this extremely like intense workplace, like do or die, and then it was like staffing agency that felt like I was in a capstone class for
Yeah. Yeah.
staffing, and everybody was so young, and it was a very fun atmosphere, but it was like honestly stepping away from like a very older environment into a younger environment where there was like happy hours, there was office drama, people were like dating in the office, but the emotional intelligence of the people in that office was so low. The problems that were happening in that office had nothing to do with like productivity or metrics or success in terms of like your performance. It was very much like social. I had to transfer out of that environment into the job that I have now, which is like not intense in the way that my first job was, but this is like very real world. Like on a daily basis, I'm working in a lot of different spaces that it just really puts a sense of like weight in the work that you do. Whereas like staffing agency, college age kids, it was a very stark difference. But even when I'm in my job now and there's younger people that I work with, I'm like, you gotta grow up, babes. I really feel like it hinders your ability to grow at the rate you want to grow. Like in every work environment, there's different things that are, brought to the table that help you grow. If you have strong, uh, like ability to control your emotions and navigate adult relationships, that networking is what's important. Like the biggest lesson that I've learned in corporate America is that your ability to network and to advocate for yourself in different rooms is so important. Like I've been able to grow in my current role like really well, and I love my job. I love my job and I love my managers. I'm very fortunate. Being able to control your emotions and advocate for yourself, I think, are like two really strong
Yeah.
habits that can help you grow in corporate
That was
America.
learn how to advocate for yourself
Okay,
with
and great minds think alike. Okay.
I know that was my most important one because it's like that's the one that I think I'm learning the most now as a 28-year-old who's been in my industry for the last like 5 years. I was always the yes man is what they would call you. Like you say yes to everything, you do everything. And like while that's great to show your bosses that you can do that, you have to learn how to advocate for yourself and decide what your boundaries are, saying no. Something I wish I learned a long time ago because I hardly ever said.
There's a difference in being a team player versus being walked over like a rug.
Yeah. I feel like you learn how to do that a little bit later in your career, but I think if you're 22 or you're 23 and you're kind of trying to figure out where you're at, I think the biggest one that I would probably lean on is knowing that like sometimes you might be wrong and how you respond to that in the workforce will say everything because I can't stress this enough, like how much ego I see. So I think learning how to understand, like, okay, this is just my ego showing. I need to like step back and realize I might be wrong. Apologizing when you're wrong and stating out loud to people you work with, like, hey, I was wrong. That actually can go a long way in your career, especially if it's towards a manager or someone who's directly ahead of you, like acknowledging when you were in the wrong or understanding that you did something wrong and then communicating, but I promise I will be better or let's figure out a way that we can work through this together. It's just like, just own it.
Yeah,
Own
own
it
it.
and say, you know what? That was on me. I'm so sorry. Here's what I'm going to do to fix it. How would you like me to fix it? But like the main topic for me is that and learning to advocate for yourself. Negotiating the salary, very important.
So going
whatever
high.
that whatever that first number is, maybe add like 3 or 4 thousand to it, and that's your starting number. You never want to say that you will start at 30,000. I hope nobody's taking a job for 30,000, but I'm just saying.
In this economy, yeah, me too, girl.
In this economy, no. That's just my first thing. If it says it's starting at 30,000, you say I can start at 34, 32, because they're always going to go down. They're never going to be like, oh, okay, you said 30, let's give you 40. So that's what I would do.
Okay.
Those are what I have.
Hailey, amazing. Those were so good. I'm actually going to do the rapid fire game because this pertains to the topic we were just on. One thing everyone should know how to cook. What was the one thing you think everyone should know how to cook?
A good steak.
A good steak. I think everyone should know how to make cookies.
Cookies are kind of hard to make from scratch. They're kind of hard.
Toll House, Nestle Toll House tells you exactly how to make cookies on the back of the bag. Girl, you ain't got no... If you can't read, then we need to take you back to kindergarten. Okay. One phone number everyone should have memorized. I think your spouse or your partner. You need to have that phone number memorized.
I think your spouse is obviously a good one. I don't know my boyfriend's phone number by heart. I only know his area code, so maybe I should learn that. The non-emergency phone number for like your city. Because like sometimes you're in an emergency, you call 911, but a lot of the times the emergencies you have are for the non-emergency line.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself homework
What
to
is
learn
one thing?
to learn my
That's
boyfriend's
good. One
phone
thing.
number. Oh my God.
So one thing worth paying someone else to do.
I would say like organizing your pantry.
Cleaning
Or
lady.
like deep cleaning. Like
Unfortunately,
deep
cleaning lady.
deep cleaning
I
your
would pay a cleaning
car.
lady. I'm yesterday, today, tomorrow. I'm getting my house cleaned.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't. What is one thing you should never cheap out on?
High quality produce at the grocery store. Produce and like high
Okay.
quality meat, like organic. Everything you
The
buy
diarrhea
should be like
lettuce. Make sure you don't get
good
diarrhea
for your.
lettuce.
Yeah, stay away from the bagged lettuce, ladies. It's killing us.
I would say sunglasses and perfume.
Oh, you do like it good. I would also say never
I
cheap out on a vacation hotel room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I personally do not wear non-designer sunglasses. I will
I
only wear
don't either.
Ray-Ban.
I think it's kind of silly because I be losing my sunglasses. I have like 6 pairs because I always lose them.
I love that. Not me. Girl, you'll find the
You
same pair
love
of
a.
Ray-Bans on my face.
You've been wearing Ray-Bans the last 10 years and you always got new ones too. Oh yeah, remember when you looked down in the Potomac River and they just went
That was
straight
a
to the
booze
Potomac?
cruise. That was a booze cruise if I've ever been on one. That's when I took you to Gilligan's and we got swamp waters.
Yes. Yes, love a
Do you
swamp
remember
water.
swamp water?
Okay, next one.
Um, what is one thing you learned way later than you should have?
Um,
Yeah.
oh, this one's good. How to cook the perfect scrambled egg.
I think one thing I learned way later than I should have has to do with like house maintenance. How to turn on a gas range and like actually use the knobs on like a gas range because I grew up in a house that had like an electric stove top, so I like never really learned
Oh,
how to
I
turn the
see.
gas range on. And and then one adult task you'll procrastinate forever. And why is
Oh,
it
this one's
taxes?
really bad. This one's really bad. Taxes. Taxes, yes. Obvious answer, taxes. For me, my answer is
Obvious answer.
waiting until I'm literally like out of gas to fill up my gas tank.
Mm. Oh
Like
my
I
God,
will
yeah.
I will go until
Oil
I've got like
change, car maintenance.
yeah, oil
Perfect,
change.
beautiful, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, get your oil changed. All right, we're going to move into current obsessions. So I'll start. I am an Ella girl. I love
Ella
Ella
Langley.
Langley. I'm also subscribed to like I want to know who she's dating. I want to know what's going on in her love
Oh,
life.
you're
And
not just into the music, you're obsessed with her.
And so the song Sunburn by Tucker Wetmore has been notoriously connected to her and a trip that was a songwriting trip they did down, I think, in the British Virgin Islands. But now I love Tucker Wetmore, so he's now my current obsession. And specifically, my current obsession is his new song, Who Told You That? I love his vibe.
I'm shocked by you saying that because I literally just discovered that song this morning. And I was like, "Ooh." Yeah, I
I really
think
like
it
that
came
song.
out like last Friday or something, but I
Yeah.
started listening. I literally found that song either this morning or yesterday and I've been listening to it, but I had no idea that song was about Ella. I love Sunburn. That's so
Sunburn, I
funny.
think, is about Ella, but I love songs that are like wordplay songs, and I feel like he does that a lot. Who told you that? But like, not the way you would think he was saying that.
Yeah.
It's a really fun song. What's your current obsession?
My current obsession, I'm back on my reading game.
Okay.
I'm like obsessed with just like reading. I finished Verity.
Yeah,
That was my current
that was
obsession.
crazy.
Verity Verity was such a good book, and it like took me no time at all to read. I couldn't put it down. Yeah, I think my current obsession right now is Colleen Hoover.
I will not stand for the slander against Colleen Hoover. I feel like so many people have so many like opinions of her in her books. Like, I think as soon as a woman starts to really get in her bag and make money, people immediately are like, but I don't think that this is artistically developed enough. I don't think that this is this, that, and
Oh,
the other. And I'm like, can
jeez.
you literally relax? Like, let this woman get
Yeah.
her bag. And it's like, I also am like so sad for her. And like, the It Ends With Us movie I thought was so good, and like all of that drama that happened with that movie and those two actors, like
Yeah, that was
it was
pretty
so
bad. And it
irritating.
puts such a bad taste in your mouth for the
I love
movie.
that movie.
Like,
When that movie came out, I felt very nostalgic because like I went to the movie with like five of my girlfriends. But it was like such a fun outing, and like the movie, and it's so refreshing. Honestly, I never read books when I was younger, but now I'm like reading a lot of books and like going to see
mhm.
the movies. That's why I'm so excited about Verity. I love that sensation of like being able to like connect a book back to.
I will admittedly say that I've always done that to a book I've
Yeah,
read and seen the movie. I'm like, the book was better.
imagine the book was probably better than this, but I didn't read it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so beautiful, perfect, wonderful. Thank you. Pressed
You're welcome.
press pedal you're taking. A pressed pedal is something that we're preserving from this week. So something we either learned, a new habit we picked up, a memory we had, a conversation, a mindset, a compliment, or just a tradition that we're looking to keep and move forward with. And then deadheading, and this kind of follows that floral theme of the violets, the wilted violets, is something we're leaving
Mhm.
behind. So, like, what are you done watering, girl? What are you leaving behind? What are you trimming? A bad habit, an annoyance, a mindset, a trend that you're like, this is tired. I don't want to do this anymore. This is not worth my time. We'll start with a press pedal, and I'm gonna let you go first.
My pressed pedal is a new habit that I started doing at the beginning of this week. I have been writing down 3 things that I am grateful for every day. I think at the end of each day, I want to also write 3 other things because I have found, and this was something my mom taught me about when I was in college. She told me, like, I think you just kind of need to be in some gratitude right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you start your day in gratitude, I have been noticing that like the smaller things don't really like really truly get under my skin as much as they used
Yeah.
to. And when I'm like winding down for the evening, like maybe I'll do it before dinner or before I start to cook or something, just so it's like I have a little bit of time left in the day to be like in gratitude. But I started doing that and it's been really nice. And honestly, which is kind of sad that I'm admitting this, sometimes depending on the day of when I would write it, I would be so frazzled that I'd be like, I can't think of 3.
Yeah.
And then like when I first started doing the practice in college, I would be like, my iced coffee, my bed, and like a car that I can drive in, which are yes, 3 things I was grateful for,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to be more intentional with them. Like the lunch that my dad just took me to, I'm grateful to have him and like kind of build on it. So I could go back even if you just write 3 things down. I've noticed that that like truly does help me. So I'm bringing that into next week. I really enjoy that habit that I've been doing and it's just really like set me up for success to sort of explain like okay, I'm starting my day in gratitude and kind of like taking a moment to reflect, just not being like in myself, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. I think my press pedal is going to be involved with like self care because I honestly feel that as I've gotten later half of my 20s, like I'm actually really invested in like myself and preserving my body. It's like really weird to like see your parents get older. Like my parents have always been the younger parents, and like I don't see my parents as often. I'm really invested in what's happening right here. So I am pressing my skincare routine, and I'm gonna keep it going.
Mm.
I think it's really made a difference, and specifically the habit that I'm taking into next week that I'm like actually doing pretty much every day is gua sha. It feels
You're inspiring me.
and my skin's been looking really good, which I'm really happy about. But I'm also have an ice roller. while I let
Mm.
my dogs outside into the steamy heat of South Carolina, I've been rolling my face with
Feels so good.
I think it helps so much. It does depuff. I think the two of them together are like
Mm.
What are you leaving behind, girlfriend? What are you leaving?
Gosh, this is hard for me. I'm trying to think because I feel like I'm trying so hard not to like do things I don't want to do anymore. I think I'm leaving behind like taking everything personally.
Okay, I like that.
I'm leaving that behind. Sometimes like it isn't that deep and someone saying one thing to you isn't as hard as you're taking it. So I'm like learning and I'm not next week I'm not going to bring that in with it. I'm not going to take it so
That's good.
seriously. Mhm.
I'm deadheading something that it may come back in the future. I don't know. I think it's a part of me now. I just have to do it. Um, I'm deadheading chicken breast. I'm so sorry. I said to you last week I went to a dinner over somebody's house and I made this like really delicious caprese pasta salad and like everything about the pasta salad
Mhm.
was really good except for I air fried and I seasoned some chicken breast and the texture it was like so hard to chew. And it's like I would just rather have a chicken thigh at this point. I'll do a chicken tenderloin, like the little strips that are like
Mhm.
tender. Those are not
Yeah.
chicken breasts are too problematic for me. I had so much leftovers of that pasta salad too, and I like tried to pick through it, but I was like, this chicken breast is literally making me want to gag.
Uh, Everyone goes through an era of like not wanting to eat the chicken of rubber. Yeah, I went through a phase like that too. I was like,
Yeah.
actually can't remember the last time I had chicken because I've kind of been like in that phase
You've
too.
been
So I
beefing
get it.
out, girl. You've been in that beef lane.
I've been staking it up
Staking
though,
it up.
ground beefing, staking,
Steak and eggs. I love it.
staking eggs, baby. That's all I'm eating over here.
Okay, well, this has been so lovely. I think we had a really great conversation today about just some things that we're looking to bring into our own lives, trying to be better at connecting. I think that's like a big takeaway from this conversation is like a lot of things about being an adult, like making mistakes and putting yourself out there. Like Haley was saying, you have to be intentful in your actions. I'm going to leave with a question for the listeners, and you guys can leave comments if you feel so inclined. Um, but we're seeing if you want to leave this week with something practical. Some things you could do is introduce yourself to two people in a social setting. You could compliment a stranger, maybe shoot your friend a phone call versus a text message, give them a quick ring. Send a thank you message. Like if you went to a barbecue or you went to a birthday, someone hosted a gathering, send them a nice little thank you note in the mail. You can go down to CVS or Target, go grab a note, send that out to a friend, make their day. Put your phone away during dinner if you're having family dinner or you're just out with your spouse or your friends. Just put it to the side for a little while. Um, hold the door for a stranger. That's Southern comfort, to be honest. And then, small habits compound. You don't have to do all of these things at once. It's all about just making tiny changes and holding on to those and pressing those pedals into the next week. I love you, Haley. This was such a fun conversation. I look forward to chatting with you next week.
I love you too, and I'll see you next
See you
week.
next week. Bye, guys.
Bye. Love you.